right ahead and help yourself to that. Appreciate our sponsors today. We have, of course, A&M Commerce is providing all the food, and of course, our speaker, Brother Dr. Rudin, gives an update of what's going on with A&M Commerce, which is going to be a great thing to get every once in a while, see what's going on out here with all the growth. And once again, also thank GEUS for actually streaming this live. We've done pretty much
every one of our Hunt County EDA events, stream it live, and then they also save it on YouTube. So if you ever want to go back and see any of our previous events, this is our 13th event, I believe, today. So they've got them all saved out there. So I'm going to do a quick little introduction about Hunt County EDA. It's kind of weird saying here. Oh, it's wireless. Oh, yeah, that's much better. I cannot see it. So I'll do a little quick thing on Hunt County EDA, then Matthew Middleton is actually going to do our grades for education today, and then we're just going to turn it right over to Dr. Rudin and get in with the presentation. So how many of y'all remember the Hunt County Economic Development Alliance from a while back? How many of y'all used to do this? Yes. This is actually the first place I came when B was actually doing a presentation on transportation, and it was here. And that's how I found out about Hunt County EDA. It was a beautiful thing. So I'm glad we brought it back. It was dissolved around 2016, 17, with some things that were going on, so it became more of an administrative nightmare. So they expanded it then, and we brought it back in 2019. And we brought it all back, and we are not affiliated with any kind of political organization. We don't have any political preferences. We're not a PAC. We are here to simply provide education about economic development for Hunt County. Like I said, this is our 13th event. The mission statement is to communicate important issues related to economic development in Hunt County. And our website, for you guys that want to take a look, you can see some of the previous meetings we've done, is at huntcountyeda.com. huntcountyeda.com. If I could have all of our steering committee that are here, please stand up. Just to let everybody know this here, please stand up, all of our steering committee. About 13 of us. So they're the ones that do all the work, and I'm pretty much just the secretary putting everything together for them. So at this time, I want to go ahead and the past events, I'm not going to go through all the ones we've done. The next one coming up, and we haven't set the date yet, but it's something we've had on our hit list for a while, is we're going to have Caddo Mills give us an update of all the growth and plans going on in Caddo Mills. So they're in the process of finding a location that's going to hold enough people, and we're shooting for September, October of this year is what we're shooting for. And we'll probably, maybe, depending on how many folks we have running that we have opposition for candidates, we'll probably look at maybe doing another meet candidate deal, kind of depending on how many people we have that's running, and it's going to have some opponents, and we'll do another meet candidate event as well. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over for our invitation. And right after the invitation, Dr. Rudin, I'm going to let you come on up here and do your deal. So y'all please thank Matthew Middleton.
Let us pray. Heavenly, most gracious Father, thank you for today, Lord. Thank you for this time that you've given us just to be able to come together as friends and to join and share a meal together, Lord. We just ask you to bless the food and let it be a nourishment to our bodies. Lord, we ask you to just bless each and every person that's here today, Lord. Help them get home safe. Lord, we ask you just to keep them safe and keep them healthy. Lord, we also ask you to watch over Israel and Ukraine, Lord, and all those who are involved, that they just might see peace and see the light and come together in love. Lord, we ask you to watch over our military men and women, our first responders, and all of our leaders from the church house to the White House. And we ask all these things in your Son's precious and holy name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Brother Matthew. All right, Dr. Rudin, it's all yours, sir.
I'll come up there. I'll probably end up grabbing it. Good afternoon. Start doing something, Mark. Let's go. What's the show here? I appreciate you all joining us here today, and please continue to
Enjoy your meals,
please feel free to get up and get more.
Get more, get desserts, whatever the case may be. Just do enjoy. But thank you so much for letting us host this event and telling you a little bit about what's going on at the university. Is this on? Okay. So much what's going on at the university, and it's good to look out. I recognize a lot of faces. There's still some people I need to meet, but this is, you know, I've been president of the university for just closing on 6 years, and I got to be honest with you, I feel a little bit more at home with this group than I do with faculty. I come from a VP for Research and Economic Development background, an industry background, so this is been much more of a comfort zone for me than faculty and faculty senates and so forth. So just appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk to you all. A lot of good things going on in this university, and we have to do a better job telling the community what kind of things are going on in the university, because we just, you know, universities are known to be shameless and talk about all the great things. I don't think we do that enough. And so again, thank you for giving me the platform. So we'll just launch right into this. And I'm just going to go talk, bear with you, I'm going to talk a little bit about superlatives right now. You know, there are different publications that rank universities. And kind of one of the gold standards is U.S. News and World Reports. If you go by a magazine stand, you'll see the annual best of the colleges in the U.S. and universities in the U.S. And it's a special edition. And then what they do is they go and rank universities. And here's kind of how they do it. They say, here are about the 400 or so best universities, national universities. Okay? And you can see the things they rank them on, a graduation rate, and philanthropic giving, and you can see the list right there. And also they solicit input from peer institutions. And after these 400 or so, then they rank the rest. Who is the best of the rest in the East, in the Southeast, in the West, in the North, and so forth. And every year since I've been here, and we continue that string going forward, that A&M Commerce is in that national university list. And is actually ranked number 369 out of this 439 or so national universities. Which you think, 369 out of 439? That's a big deal when you consider there's probably 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 universities and colleges in the U.S. So you have I feel like the community, I think Northeast Texas has a diamond in the rough in terms of higher education with A&M Commerce, and it's being nationally recognized in that regard. You see, we have other best programs. You go to the next one, we knock it out of the park on online education. And you can see that some of these, like criminal justice, number 36 in the nation out of these top 103 schools. Number 97 on best online master's education programs. So really a crown, a jewel in our crown to be able to tout these type of things and maintain that excellence and provide that educational experience for our students. It's always good to have third-party validation, okay? This is one that's kind of near and dear to me. We are a school, a regional university that serves a certain type of student, okay? Maybe a student that's a little bit more on the economically stressed side of the pendulum, okay? Maybe don't have the resources. Maybe when they're sitting around the table, they're talking to parents or guardians and family members that never went to school. They provide no guidance, okay? And these are the type of students that, not all of our students, we've got our fair share of valedictorians and top 10% and all those type of students. But these are students that don't have anyone guiding them, certainly don't have the resources. In fact, over the last, since I've been here, when we track data on the type of students we get, the students that come in on average are about 43% EFC. Okay, that means nothing to you, but what it does mean is 43% of the incoming freshmen annually that come in show up at a doorstep and say, I have no money, I want to go to school. Help me. Okay? And there's Pell Grants and institutional grants and donor gifts that we can provide them, but they walk in with no clue how they're going to pay for school, and their family has no clue how they're going to pay for school. So we are an institution that is now also nationally recognized because of that. We are recognized as a school that is a top 58 in the nation, #1 in the A&M system, in this term called social mobility. That takes a look at the student before they come to the university and their economic straits, and how we prepare them and how we set them up for success after they graduate. Okay? And in a lot of those cases, we see ourselves as a change agent. Our faculty and staff and administration see ourselves as change agents for these students that come to us with nothing, and we can transform their lives and get them to a job that is a relatively high-paying job, and in some cases break that cycle of generational poverty and set them on their path forward and transform their lives. That's in our DNA. That's baked into our campus. That's what we take great pride in. Okay? And notice I have not said anything, not one mention of the quality of the student. These students are still of very high quality, but their lot in life may be different than other kids that are out there. Just as talented, but maybe don't have the access to the resources and so forth that they need to be, that they see themselves to be successful. We fill that void, and we take great pride in that. Okay? And last year, our ranking on this was 106th in the nation. We went from 106 to 58, and I presume as we proceed down this road, we'll continue to grow in that area. We were talking a little bit about our move to D1 athletics, and I don't want to get too much into that, but we're having a good time. Let me just say we're having a good time. We have our athletic director, Jim, just raise your hand there, our athletic director here today. And we can't say anything about the next football season, can we?
24?
Oh, we can? Okay.
Yeah, about 24.
So I can remember this past basketball season, we were talking about, some coaches came to the office and said, we're playing at Duke in the fall. I was like, yes, we're going to go play, I'm going to go get tickets, we're going to play at Cameron. A week later, they came back and said, Duke canceled. They had some other game that came up with it. I was like, well, who do we get? They said, well, we're playing at Kentucky. And I was like, oh, that's great. You know, but it was kind of cool, right? It's very cool. And not this coming fall, but the next fall, we're actually going to play one of our first games of the football season at Florida State. So be ready for that one. Jim, I think you'll run on that, or we're probably a favorite,
I think it's a pick 'em
-1.
right now.
But even a pickup, yeah. So be ready to go. But I show you this slide because this slide's important to me. Okay? I love going to the games, love supporting the students, but this is what's important to me. We're only 3 years into that transition, and already the gentleman on the left, Max Epps, was a third-team AP All-American and a football player. And even more near and dear to me, the person on the right, Dylan Edwin, track athlete, was an academic All-American. And I think in just 3 years of this transition, we're already making a splash on the national scene. So I can't tell you how proud I am of both the student athlete on the field and in the classroom. And that's a tribute to our athletic director and our coaches that play such an important role in forming these folks' lives. So I came here, we created a strategic plan. We just went through this process of refreshing that plan. I just want to walk through a couple things with you. We stopped messing around. With our first strategic plan, we were talking about things like educate, discover, achieve, and so forth. That's all good. That's all flowery, high-ed language. But this is what we do. We transform lives. That's our mission statement. Everyone knows what that means on campus. Everyone knows, I hope, everyone knows their responsibility in achieving this mission and dealing with our students. Again, whether that's students in a lab, a classroom, an athletic field, wherever that, an internship, wherever that is, we are setting the stage to transform their lives and go out and be successful. If you look at our vision, a lot of words there, okay? It's kind of wordy, okay? But I highlighted some words that are kind of near and dear to us as an institution. And the first one is student-ready university. There are so many schools that talk about student-centric, student-focused, but student-ready is a different type of university. It's starting to get some traction within higher ed. And I think A&M Commerce is one of the lead institutions in this. Make no bones about it. COVID hit us hard. Okay? It hit us hard, not only in terms of enrollment, but it also hit us hard on the student that we are now seeing walk through our doors. And if I can, and I'm not selling out any ISD, I'm not selling out anyone, because they're facing the same challenges we are. But these students have developed some bad habits, and maybe don't have the same preparation that we've had in students in the past. And so we are now asking, instead of faculty walking into a classroom like this, and you're in my class, and walking in there and saying, okay, open your books, here's the test, you got to get a 70, you pass, you don't pass, you don't pass, you don't pass. We're taking a different approach. We're saying, you teacher, faculty member, you have to understand that everyone in this room has a different level of college readiness. Okay? Some are prepared better than others. Some are not. So take that into consideration. And when I say that, there are some faculty that say, oh boy, here we go. Mark's just about numbers. That's why we just pass those people through. Not saying that. What I'm saying is that I need our faculty and our instructors to engage with our students in the classroom and rethink of how we're doing things in the classroom. Because we're having so many students that come to us now, and this is just not at A&M Commerce, this is all over the place. We have students that don't believe in doing homework. Okay? Don't do homework. And you go to them and you say, hey, you understand that if you do homework, you probably pass the class. Yeah. And if you do homework, and I know you can, and you do it well, you probably get an A in the class. Got it. Still you do it. And then we don't know why. We don't know why. It's kind of been ingrained in them, in this class. And we hope that is just a bubble that's going through the educational pipeline. We hope that's not the new norm. But we have innovative faculty at the university that are saying, okay, here's how I'm going to engage with you. We are going to start doing our assignments in class. We're going to start doing them together. We're going to start writing papers in class. You may not like it, but until I can trust you to do it outside of class, we're doing it in class. And then also doing things like taking notes, lecturing for the first half hour, and then taking a break and saying, you know what, put your pencils down and tell me what you learned. Tell me what's in your notes. And developing those soft skills within the classroom to recalibrate them, reboot them, and get them on their way to become productive students in the classroom. So this college readiness is a concept that we need to meet students where they are at. Okay? And if they flunk out or they flunk a class, then take the class over. That's not what I'm saying at all. I don't want to just streamline people passing classes. We're going to make you work like heck to pass that class, but we have to develop innovative strategies. We are also, and I'm going to get into this later, we pride ourselves on being this unique university that has a dual identity of rural and urban. Okay? When I first got here, we were kind of more on the rural side. Not anymore, and I'll get into that a little bit. And then finally, career preparedness is the last one. I can remember when I was, my son was going to go to Boise State, and Lydia and I, my wife, went to a student orientation. We said, come on, let's go see what they're telling the kids. So we were at a table with other parents whose kids were going through orientation with us. We didn't tell them who we were. And as the event went on, they heard more, the parents heard more and more student club, get involved, have fun, student club, get to know your faculty. And all the parents were like this. And eventually when they found out who we were, they said, is my kid going to get a job when they graduate here or not? Okay? Are they going to get a job? I'm okay with them having fun, but are they going to be prepared to be successful when they leave the university? Okay? And so that story has always stuck with me. And before I came here, I was that industry liaison, where I went out to industry and employers and said, what skills do you want in our students? We're going to produce the best biologist, we're going to produce the best accountant, but tell me what else you need. Do you need to communicate? Do our computer scientists have to be able to communicate orally and take complex information and make it understandable? Do they need to work in groups? You tell me those skills. And then we're going to bring those skills back to the classroom and tell faculty, start creating opportunities for students to develop these skills in your class. Because at the end of the day, when we talk about career preparedness, and our students leave this university and they sit in front of an interviewer, they have skills that set them apart from everyone else that has their resume in the pile. And it's starting to bear fruit because we survey our students, and about 86% of our students that graduate the university have jobs within the first 6 months of leaving the university, with the state average being much lower than that. So again, we continue to hit this very hard, the whole idea of career preparedness. So you look at strategic priorities and goals. First one, I got my way on this one. Ensure student preparedness. Okay? How do we best develop the skills? We'll teach the technical skills, but what else can we do? And you see some of these underlying kind of bullets. The first one is highlighted. Develop skills, students' critical thinking, analytical skills, and information literacy. I'll give you one example how we do this. So Adobe software, suite of products, Adobe PDF and all the presentation software and video software and so forth. We are one of about 53, 54 schools in the nation that are designated as an Adobe Creative Campus. We have access to the entire, all our students and faculty have access to the entire suite of Adobe products for implementation and use within our classes, homework assignments, tests, whatever the case may be. But they are cutting their teeth on state-of-the-art software that they may need in a lot of different cases when they take that job. Again, yet another skill in their resume that they're going to be walking into that job with and saying, I can do this. There's no OJT here. Don't send me the training. I can do this. Okay? And so we're really excited about that, developing those analytical IT skills as part of the university. Another area that we're concentrating on is elevating research at our university. And research is a multi-dimensional kind of thing, right? At the university, it could be the number of publications you do, the number of presentations. But let's make no bones about it. We are interested in trying to bring valuable resources, i.e. money, to the university to fund things, research and scholarships and so forth. We want to bump up our game, bring additional valuable resources to our university, and diversify that monetary portfolio at our shop here. And so we are focusing like a laser. And Brent, I saw you here, just raise your hand. Brent Donnan is our VP for research and economic development. And a lot of you folks know him. Doing a great job. And we're striving to bump the number up. And this year, well, I guess last year, fiscal year 23, we crossed over $7 million of research money being brought into the university. And in some cases you think, that's pretty good number, I guess. It's not bad when before it was $4 million the year before, and this year we're going to continue to see increases in that number. And there's a Carnegie Foundation, a foundation called Carnegie that ranks research of universities based upon things like PhDs prepared and research money being brought in. And Carnegie has a highest group of R1 institutions, R2 institutions, and R3 institutions. And to spare you, the R1s are the Harvards, the Michigans, and so forth, right? R2 are kind of middle, and R3, and then after R3, the rest of the group. Right now, A&M Commerce is an R3 institution, with the hope and expectation this December that we're going to be bumped up to the R2 institution. R2 research, high research activity institution, which brings a lot of benefit and notoriety and prestige along with that designation. Strategic priority number 3, we create an inclusive community. When we say inclusive at A&M Commerce, we're making sure that we create an experience for all faculty, staff, and students that are safe, healthy, and welcoming, and you feel included in part in this environment. And I'll tell you what, sometimes hiring gets a bad rap, but I'll tell you where I'm coming from. I don't care if you're the most left-leaning person in the world, politically, or the most right-leaning person in the world, or where you are on the spectrum, or gender, or race, I don't care. We're going to find a spot for you and educate you and bring you under the umbrella at A&M Commerce University. That's what we're going to do, to transform your lives and make you successful. We're committed to that. And then also, we are very interested in having all partners, all constituents, faculty, staff, and students, that they are able to achieve their professional goals. So first one I want to mention, and we're very proud of this, we created a Office of Student Advocacy and Support. And as I mentioned before, a lot of our students are vulnerable economically. And some of our students, a significant portion of our students have no idea where their next meal is coming from. And they have no idea what they're going to wear to that interview if by chance they get an interview. And so those are two examples of a food pantry that's on campus and a lying clothing closet on campus, where they have access to food and clothing that help them until they can get out of here and get a good paying job. But there's also a ombudsman. We provide free legal advice to our students in this whole center here, and Nikki Barnett has done a good job wrapping this all together. And if you, someday, I hope that we can find a way to get you in the room. And if you ever want to you let me know, to come and visit our food pantry. I can't tell you how proud I am of that pantry. We have done such a great job, and Judy Sackfield, our VP for Student Affairs, has done a great job in creating a space that has food availability, whoever needs it, but also does it with dignity. It's an outstanding space that we have over there. And so this is an example of, if we can just help them a little bit more, and help them along the way, and remove all the barriers to progression of their degree, we're working to transform their lives. And then this is just a new program we have where, we're not flush with money like the Hunt County Economic Development Alliance. But we don't have the ability to send everyone where they need to go to get training. But we're finding that there are a lot of opportunities in-house that we have expertise in-house to provide training. We can train our own people. We can train our own people on budgeting. We can train our own people on software. Okay? And so this is called Investing in Us, a program where we target, and it may be people internally, maybe people externally to the university that are providing training for people in these various areas. And the topic areas change from semester to semester. And don't be surprised if you all get hit up in, if we decide to offer a class in your area, if you would mind to come in and helping us teach a class, or open it up for you all to take classes. We're opening it up right now to our alumni, and we had a class last semester that was wildly successful. So again, this is reinvesting in the campus to help them be successful. Align our initiatives with the rural-urban identity. So we see ourselves as an educational hub of rural Northeast Texas, urban Northeast Texas, okay? And we want to leverage the assets of the university for the social, cultural, economic benefit of the region. We strive to do that. We have not always done that. We are not always good at that. We need to be better at that, okay? I want our community to think of us as a resource, as an asset, okay? And again, we can do much better at that. But we do have partnerships. We do have a lot of things going on in partnerships, and sometimes we don't tout it enough. But we have a horticulture department that has partnered with the local elementary school to build a greenhouse and create learning opportunities for those students. We found out from Encore that hires a lot of our graduates, Encore Power, hires a lot of our graduates that say, you know what, Mark? You guys book learn them, all right, but we need people with hands-on experience that can work with equipment and so forth. And they came in graciously and funded a power lab that's located on our campus here, full of equipment that students get hands-on experience with some of the equipment that they will be working with when they go work for Encore. Planetarium, we have a planetarium on our campus that is a big deal. We get so many visitors that visit our planetarium, and believe me, they were in their heyday during this eclipse. They were in their heyday. And I can still remember a time going over there where, this is the past semester, where we had a group of seasoned individuals that wanted to come to a show at the planetarium. And as I had to go there to say some introductory remarks. And as I was going in, all these little tykes were coming out, giving them high fives. And then the people were coming in, the 60, 70, 80, 90-year-olds were coming in, I was giving them high fives coming in. And it just struck me what a resource that is for everyone. Everyone is mesmerized about the things that happen in our universe, in our space. Whether you're a little guy or or a more seasoned person. And it's, again, we have thousands of visitors that come and visit this planetarium annually. So let me take a step back for a second. This is a map of rural and urban northeast Texas with A&M Commerce designated right there. And I'm going to speak to you as family, kind of on the inside here. When I first got here, this is kind of the way it felt. This is kind of the way it felt. I think there was a little bit of hand-wringing in A&M Commerce, saying, oh man, we're so far from DFW, and how come no one likes us? They didn't say that. But, you know, that we're so far away, we're isolated and so forth. Okay? That's the way it was. And it started, I noticed immediately, it was starting to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's what you believe. If that's what you want, that's what you're going to get. Right? And so we do have some university centers that are located within the DFW area. At Collin College, a new one, and Grand Prairie ISD, and so forth. And those are very helpful to help serve the DFW area. Okay? While Commerce, the main campus, can straddle this line, we have some centers that are located in the DFW area. And if you look at those numbers of the students we've served, and this is back in fall of 23, because this is the best number that you can come up with right now, and it may be hard to read, but all collectively, not including the main campus, those 4 sites, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sites, we're serving over 3,000 students in fall of 23 as part of our overall enrollment. And with the Dallas site at 8750 serving over 2,200 students and various degree programs and so forth. So we are spreading our wings across the landscape of Northeast Texas. If you take a look, this is where I'm trying to get our campus to. I don't want to be the University of Commerce. I don't want to be the University of Hunt County. I want to be the institution of choice of Northeast Texas, rural and urban Northeast Texas. That's what I want. This is our campus. These little red dots represent partnerships we have with ISDs. It's a little messy because it gets crowded pretty quick. But we also have community college in here and industry partnerships and parts of the system that are part of this. This is the campus. This is what I want our campus to be. If you draw a line from Oklahoma through DFW and over to the state lines over in Arkansas and Louisiana, that represents about the size of West Virginia, state of West Virginia. That's our constituency, okay? Rural and urban. And sometimes it throws our faculty for a loop saying, well, what is it, Mark, rural or urban? And I said, fortunately, we have expertise in producing teachers and faculty that can simultaneously, or in some cases, understand and teach towards urban education and rural education. Rural ag, urban ag. Rural ag may be a little bit more about the traditional crops and wheat and animal science and so forth. Urban ag may be more about food insecurity, food deserts, supply chain management, getting food from farm to market and making sure that the populace is well nourished. So we feel like we're in a position to do both. This is what I want our campus to be. This is our campus, the way I see it. And we are starting to get a sense that this is starting to pay off. Okay? It's starting to pay off. When COVID hit us, it hit us hard. It hit us hard in terms of headcount. And we needed to sit down and cinch our belts and figure out how we move this forward now. Okay? And unfortunately, I wish I could take more credit for it. We got a great leadership team at our university. And for the first time, after enrollment's going down, A&M Commerce, the coordinating board came out with a table. A&M Commerce from fall of 22 to fall of 23 in terms of percent increase in enrollment. Commerce was #1 in the state of Texas. #1 in the state of Texas in terms of percent increase in enrollment. That includes the Aggies, that includes the Longhorns, that includes everyone. Okay? So the message is getting out. We are working to become a destination university because not every student wants to be an Aggie. Not every student wants to be a Longhorn. Sometimes that just does not work out. We provide a very viable and a great option for students. So now you start talking about this idea of commerce. You start to think, it doesn't matter what we call this place. It could be University of A&M Commerce, Could be A&M Winsboro, it could be A&M Dallas, it could be A&M Rockwall, doesn't matter. This is our campus here. And what makes it interesting is the growth that's coming towards us. You cannot deny when you go through Rockwall, Cattle, Royce City and so forth, and now Greenville, you see rooftops. And for the first time, I said, I'm just going to Google this. So I Googled DFW metro area, and the U.S. Census Bureau has Commerce and Hunt County actually, for the first time that I've seen it, maybe you are all ahead of me on this, as part of the geography of the DFW Metroplex, okay, the service area. So at one time, our rhetoric was, hey, we're right on the doorstep of DFW at Commerce. That's no longer the case. We've already knocked down the door, we're there. Okay? We're there. We're part of this. You all are part of this. And we need to get ready. And we need to band together to figure out how we get ready for that. The last goal of our university is modernize our university operations and business practices. We have so much, we had so much work to do. So, parts of our university we're still living in the 80s and 90s, okay, in terms of policies and procedures and so forth. If we're going to move this way as a university, we need policies, procedures, facilities, and so forth that help us with moving the university that way. And if I latch onto this whole facilities piece, there could be some people, when I have discussions with faculty on campus, what I hear sometimes is, you moving everything to Dallas? Is that what you're doing? The answer is no, we're not. In fact, I'll make the argument that where we sit right now, and over probably the next 5 to 6 years, we're actually making about close to $150 million capital building investment at the Commerce campus right here. That doesn't sound like a university that's going anywhere, right? With a new Ag Center, a new Welcome Center, a new Event Center, and so forth. Welcome Center, we're not going anywhere. This is always going to be the mothership, no matter who we are as an institution. I will say this, part of this enrollment increase is that we do a much better job onboarding students. Saturday, we're having admitted students day. We never used to have that before. Where students that have already said, hey, I think I'm coming to Commerce. We're bringing them in, and when you walk through that door, we're not letting you leave until you're enrolled in class for the fall semester. And we have people on standby ready to help you out. We also have orientation teams that are much more engaging with those incoming students that are playing a big role in making that happen. A Lion Camp, that is, once students do get here, how do you make them feel at home? Okay? I swear, I was one of the most shyest kids in the world when I was in high school, and I was the first year in college. If I saw a Lion Camp, Mark, would you like to come to Lion Camp? No. No way. I'll be in my room. Okay? But I bet, this happened in the fall, I bet for the first 8 weeks of the fall semester, this was the buzz on our campus. We only had 300 of the new students come in, but it was such a wild success that people got to know each other. We had upperclassmen that were mentoring and befriending incoming freshmen and transfer students and so forth. It was a great thing. And this program has nowhere to go but up. Okay? We're building, as you pull in 24, this is the new Welcome Center that is off to your right. You still see the construction going on. We have a Welcome Center right now, at a Welcome Center, that if you're coming in from 24 at Greenville, this is our Welcome Center. Take a right at Culver, take a left on Monroe, take a left on Stonewall, and then weave back in the parking lot. That's not a Welcome Center, that's a place to house people. Okay? This one right here, that is out front, if you don't know what the hell you're doing, and we're driving to campus, it provides the opportunity to pull up and say, can someone help me? And I'm not even sure what I'm asking. Okay? We stand ready to help out any way we can. Excuse me. We are working towards a university district south of CDS here in a plaza. We just received approval from the board, for the event center, that'll house our men and women's sports and concerts and graduations and so forth. That'll probably seat somewhere between, I'm guessing, 3,000 to 4,000 people. It's going to be a great event. It's just as much an economic development driver as an athletic event space. And it's going to change the landscape of the university. You can see here that as part of this whole ordeal with the event center, maybe a hotel, still having that discussion. Retail, and we actually, our first kind of anchor food provider that's already committed, we're going to start work real soon, is Buffalo Wild Wings, just south of CVS. So we're going to have, we want to create kind of a dinner and game kind of environment there in this center, in this district. So we're really excited about that. And then Ferguson, I don't know if we have any alums here, but if you have recently walked through Ferguson before this year, yikes! Once you get over got over the smell of the place, then you have to deal with bugs and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes I have this reputation, I think it's largely unfounded, but I have this reputation on campus I can be easily distracted by stuff. We made a decision that we are going to focus solely on Ferguson, and we're going to revamp Ferguson. We're going to renovate Ferguson. And if I come to the table and say, what about no, Mark, we're focusing on Ferguson here. So we have completed this project, and we had all kinds of surprises going in. And we learned the hard way that you cannot piecemeal an old building like this and try to renovate it. Because you walk into a bathroom and you say, I'm going to take this urinal out, all the piping just collapses in your hand. So we learned the hard way that some of these old buildings, you got to gut it from the studs and rebuild. And because of our enrollment growth, maybe I can tell this. Because of our enrollment growth, we don't have time to build a new residence hall. For the first time since I've been here, we had a waiting list to get into our student housing at the university. We were thinking hard that at one time Binion was a residence hall. We're thinking about refabbing that, at least a portion of that, and creating new residential space for our students. Strategic plan, next steps, we're just going to put it in appropriate format and so forth, and then we have to figure out how we're going to implement this thing. We have a pretty good idea because the refresh didn't differ too much from our original plan. But we're going to hold ourselves and the community to this plan and the goals we put together. And please know that I'm going to let you in a little secret. Sometimes faculty think they know everything. They don't. Okay? But I will tell you this, and what I do know, is that this plan and where we're trying to go as a university will never, ever be successful without people like yourselves in the room today that are supportive of it. And somehow, when appropriate, when the time is right, play a role in it. We know that. There's no way that we do. That's why one of our goals is alignment with the community. We haven't called upon you before. Probably bet we will in the future here as we continue to grow. Okay? Because I feel like not only do we own the mantra of we transform lives, we're asking for help for you to do that. So we have a little back and forth right now, or I do, with the campus. And when someone asks you, what do you do at Commerce? I'm the athletic director, is typical answer. I'm a faculty member. What you do at Commerce is you transform lives. That's what you do. That's job one. Okay? We're trying to create an environment on our campus, and I'll wrap up here. I know I can get long-winded. I'll wrap up here. Our students come first. And I've already told people on our campus, and I've come across students on campus right now that are either crying or in the middle, looking at the map. I don't know what to do, Yeah, and I told our faculty, you got three options there. One, you say, hey, you know what, actually I'm in a hurry, I'm late for a meeting, I gotta go. I'm gonna take the long way around that seat. You can do option two, which I think in the past has happened too many times. Hey, can I help you with something? Yeah, I'm looking for, I don't know, I need financial aid. Oh, financial aid, let me help you with that. Walk down this walkway here, and then take a right, and then take a left, and then that should be it. I don't want that either. The answer should be, let me walk you down there. Let me walk you down there and be with you until I feel like, and you feel like, the issue's been resolved. And I've already given carte blanche to anyone who's in a meeting with me. If you're doing that, you're excused. You're excused from the meeting. Because that's the priority of this institution. We are not going to transform lives by saying it. We're going to transform lives by doing it. So, on behalf of the entire university, thank you so much for coming today and listening to me rant a little bit. But I think there's a lot of good things going on at this university, and this is just kind of the tip of the iceberg. We got a lot of good things that are coming down the pipe, and I hope you all can be a part of it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'll stand for any questions you may have, but thank you so much. Any questions for the group?
Any questions, you guys?
Yeah. Oh. What's the current student enrollment?
What's the training growth? What's the trend in the growth of student enrollment?
What's the trend in growth?
In student enrollment. In student enrollment.
Yeah. We grew by 12% from fall 22 to fall 23. I expect that, I don't know if we'll get to 12%, but I think we are going to grow from fall 23 to fall 24. So the enrollment growth was going like this, now it's going like this. Yeah.
I just when you mentioned Adobe, is the college also a beta test site for, say, for example, Microsoft? When I worked in colleges in England, we were a Microsoft beta test site, which meant we had access to the software before it was released to the general market.
So are you saying that we also have access to Microsoft products?
As a beta test
Absolutely.
site.
In fact, all our computers have Microsoft products
Because
on
that
them.
really helps students
Yeah.
as well in their cutting edge
Yeah.
development. One other thing
Yeah.
I've noticed is you've got a generation coming out now who can operate apps on phones, maybe able to use Canva and Adobe, but aren't really up on being able to manipulate data in a spreadsheet or more detailed work.
Yeah, I'd love to answer. So you have a generation coming up that may be well abreast on Adobe, but maybe not Excel and spreadsheets and how to do that. We understand that too. And in some of our colleges, like the College of Business, we have courses specifically for use of Excel and how to use Excel to solve problems and data analytics and so forth. And I think my recollection is that we're starting to have a discussion a little bit about, there's also an area I didn't touch at all of these micro-credentials, right? Where you may take 2, 3, 4, 5 classes, maybe towards a degree, but maybe not towards a degree, where you come in and learn things like this type of software, whether it's Adobe or Microsoft, a suite of Microsoft software, and take actual university credits to achieve that credential.
Dr. Rudin, can you go back to, your expansion on the buildings and stuff?
To my, tell me when.
Right there.
Okay.
Can you kind of give us, I know you can't hold you to a time, but you have kind of some timelines of what you want to do in those different new facilities?
Yeah, and I'm trying not to look at Tina because she's going to kill me. But Tina, raise your hand. Tina's our CFO, VP for administration. If I say something wrong, you tell me. But I think that it's quite hot. It looks good that Buffalo Wild Wings will probably be done in the spring. I think that
You got a nod on that one, so you're good there.
What's that?
You got a nod from her on that one.
That's good. I would say that the event center is probably 3 years out. 3 years out, probably.
Okay.
So I'm hoping we can time it for just before the start of the fall season, athletic season coming in, so we can figure out ways to get out. Our volleyball is hopefully going to be part of that also. So, but again, we're in kind of schematic design phase right now of doing that. Hotel, we're still struggling with a hotel. We put an RFP out for a hotel. Didn't get a lot of bites that we wanted. We're going to do that again, and I think it may be a little bit of you build it, they will come, kind of thing. And what I'm not showing on this,
real quick on the hotel, what type of capacity are you looking at on the
you
hotel?
think 130,
Yeah, around between 100 and 125.
120, 125.
Okay.
Yeah.
And will it be like, are you planning also maybe little conference rooms in there to hold 20, 50 people, something like that?
So, but for sure, it's going to be something that is a brand name and people love their points and there's easiness to go through apps. We want that one.
Okay. All right, sorry. Okay.
What I didn't say is if you continue to go south, which is downward in this diagram, maybe a couple thousand feet, will be the home of our new ag, multi-purpose complex and performance. And then across the street of 24 is going to be the home of our new game bird research center that will be focusing on game bird and quail and so forth. We just had a big kind of celebration. We received a major gift for that particular center of $1 million from a donor.
What time frame are those?
Boy, I don't know.
Further out?
Probably 3 years also, probably 3 years. Maybe a little bit quicker on the quail, on that. The quails, people keep on telling me the quail is going to be a game changer for A&M Commerce. Because it is quail, conservation, quail, and I'm not a hunter, I'm not a quail hunter. Still trying to reconcile in my own mind conservation versus sportsmanship, but I don't know what that is, but I'll try.
Go ahead and hand it.
Yeah, but I get it, people are near and dear.
The quail tastes great.
It is, it's a big deal, it's a big deal.
Any questions?
Yeah, Greg.
Mark, I just want to say that, you know, since you've been here, the positive changes that have happened on this university is incredible. I mean, really incredible, because when I came in 2011, you know, we had some things that were happening here, but I mean, not at the lacking speed to put into this. I mean, what is there, 7 other main campuses in the big A&M system?
11 total.
11. You have to go down there and fight for your share
Yeah.
of the state allotment, right, that comes into the university and other donors and things like that, to get that money up here so we can do these things like this. And you've done a great job of selling them on coming here and doing great things for us. And then I see all the other things you've got going across the Metroplex, to me, is like outposts. Those are outposts to bring students, make them aware of the main campus, make them aware of, you know, we have the 4-year homeschool here, you know, and so the brand awareness, the general awareness of in the Metroplex of what you're doing and spreading out your tentacles of all these other places. I mean, face it, that's where all the people are.
Yeah.
I mean, we're now 8 million people, you know, in the Metroplex. That's incredible. I mean, really, that map you showed, there's probably 8 million.
It's coming at us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, terrific job. Thank you so much for everything you do here. I don't know, you know, I know you're very busy and they keep you busy and they expect a lot from you, but I know from us in Hunt County, we support you, the university, we support everything that's going here. There's a huge economic driver for us in Hunt County, and just know that. We support everything you do.
No, I appreciate that. And I just, you know, I said before, I got a great leadership team around me. And I guess I look at it differently. In spite of me, we're making some of these changes here. So I just appreciate that. Change is coming. You know this. I'm preaching to the choir. Change is coming to Greenville. Change is coming to A&M Commerce, whether we like it or not. And so these are the times we've got to start having discussions. So if you all have any additional thoughts as part of the economic development hub of this county, boy, if there's meetings about infrastructure and those type of things, we would love to be part of it. And I just think it's incredibly important that you hear what we're up to too. Right? And I can think of examples like D, working on TechStot and those type of things. It's important that we hear what each other is doing. We're not going to go and go rogue on everyone. So,
Awesome.
okay.
Mark,
Yeah, oh, D, yeah.
Yeah, I have a question that doesn't have anything to do with transportation.
How can that be? How can that be?
First time.
How could that be?
We know that because you know about transportation.
Well, I have 10 grandchildren,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm concerned about how they communicate.
Mm.
And I'm concerned about, you know, couple are in college, 8 more will be going to college over the next 6 years. And I'm concerned about how they will be prepared to communicate and what the expectations will be, you know, for their ability to communicate, because maybe I'm just getting old and old-fashioned, but, you know, doing it on the phone is not the only way for young people to sell themselves, sell whoever it is they work for. And I'm just curious as to what the university sees as its role in building communication, regardless of the major.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is that, you know, these things create the most connected yet disconnected society we've ever had, right? And what you find out if you talk to our students, they're always on. My son's always on. He was always on. I remember one time I had a girlfriend, and along these, and he texted something, and inside I was thinking, you don't have the guts to say that.
In person, yeah.
But he did. But you know what we found out about our students too, is that no matter how much they use this, when it comes to advising, mentorship, whatever that may be, they want face-to-face interaction. And so, but it's on their terms, right? You may use the phone to reach out to me, but I want to eventually be face-to-face. And we find that more and more students want face-to-face experiences in the classroom. So I think the answer is, how do we leverage that? Right? How do we leverage the fact that that's kind of what a lot of students want. We're putting the phones away for at least for the next hour. Can you just give me that for the next hour? And we do have some faculty that, I'm going to think of a bad word if I'm not saying it, kind of bad, you know what's in the classroom saying, don't pick up the phone. This is what we got to do. So I think there's strategies here. I would say this, that every once in a while, when I see these kind of situations, but then I go to a university event where our students are presenting and speaking, it alleviates a lot. Right? We just had a research event, and this room was full of all kind of posters, research posters, and the students were standing in front of them, articulating what their research was. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've seen in a while. I didn't even care what they were saying. I was just glad that they had something well scripted, not rehearsed, but knew how to articulate that. Because I'm an ex-VP for research guy. So when I go to these posters, I just say, you got 2 minutes to put it in simple terms what this is about, right? And sometimes they struggle, I don't care. Sometimes they struggle, but they got to learn those skills, right? So I think the point being, I don't know if it's as bad as we think it is, but we know we have, all higher ed and all education knows we have a battle in front of us. I really didn't answer that question. All that, I'm just shooting from the hip.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Rudin. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
That could be a role for business people to, people in this room at some point in time.
I'll tell you what, and again, I promise I'll stop here.
One-on-one.
I'm running late.
All right.
I'll tell you the biggest thing that's facing us right now is, more so than that, is how do you create civil discourse with different points of view on campus? Our society, our adults, our politicians are not setting good examples right now. And so how do we pilot something that is a beacon, a hope, a center, a pilot of civil discourse? I might 180% disagree with you, right? You same with me. We're going to be able to talk about it, right? Without me going, oh, let me tell you a little bit about me on social media, right? I feel like that's a bigger issue right now. We're trying to do that very hard. We're an institution of higher ed, and one of our major initiatives coming out of the blocks was trying to create an air of civility on campus. I think we made great progress. You got to do that.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Well, there's a couple things what he talked about, that line camp deal. Actually, I did that when I graduated from UT Austin over 30 years ago. It was actually in the engineering department. I was a student leader doing exactly what the line camp did. And I will tell you, when you get those kids coming in, those freshmen don't have any idea what the heck's going on. You come into a big old school like that, having the senior classmen there to help those kids and help kind of coach them through. There were kids I talked to the whole year to help them get through that first year. And Dr. Rudin will tell you, if you make it through the first year, especially in engineering, you make it through the first year, you got a good chance of being able to pull through. So that part's pretty awesome. As far as the preparedness thing, I can vouch for that with my son Brett. He struggled, and he got over here, and I think you were the dean of engineering at that time. He came over here. Once he came here, he got his crap together, and I think the worst grade he made was a B. He passed he got his industrial engineering degree last May, and Brent helped him find a place at Paris, at Campbell Soup in Paris to do his industrial engineering. And because of that, so the career development piece, I agree with you, I'm proof of that working anything you do to make those kids ready for school is great. So I think that's awesome. The only thing that you work on, we have no money. So there is no money. So we don't have any of that whatsoever. So on that note, I want to, yeah, we don't want any money. Don't give us any money. But what you can do, here's what I will ask you to do, is if you have any ideas of topics, speakers that you want to bring to this Hunt County EDA, talk to the board members you saw stand up, talk to them about some ideas you have and locations you may want to have, any kind of topics you want for Hunt County. Once again, nonpartisan, non-political, all right? Just make sure you have that something good for economic development. And on the sponsorship side, for sure, anything we can do that y'all want to sponsor that event to help us. We do not take any money. We just let people sponsor this, and thank G-Bot a lot for everything we do in Greenville. Every time we do a Greenville deal, they're always taking care of the food. Juice, I want to thank Juice. Y'all could. Everybody from Juice stand up real quick. I just want to thank you guys. You guys have been here. I want to say, since day one that we got it restarted. I think y'all have videoed and streamed this stuff from day one. Every time you show up, the deals get better. So I want to thank you guys every time for coming. So I really appreciate y'all's support every single time we're out here. Once again, y'all do it for free too. Thank God. All right. So with that, God bless y'all. Y'all be safe, and God bless Texas. Have a good time.
This video has been brought to you by GEUS. GEUS is your community-owned provider for electric, internet, cable TV, and true local programming.